Recorder is.
Well, it's 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, council, Chisholm.
Present.
Mitchell. Present. McFerrin.
Present.
Thompson.
Present.
All present. Now, we need to amend the
Agenda.
consent agenda.
Oh, well, that's fine, that's okay.
And on F, it approve the budget plus set the budget hearing. I need a motion to change that.
I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda to change item F to include approve the budget, was it fiscal 17-18?
Second.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Chisholm, and seconded by McFerrin. Vote on this.
Mhm.
And make all votes nay. A.
All ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
4 ayes, nays, none. Motion carried. Now,
Now the consent agenda.
yeah, we go up to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve this consent agenda.
Motion made by Ms. Farron. Is there a second?
All second.
Motion made by Ms. Farron, seconded by Thompson. Vote A.
Aye.
Aye.
A is 3 ayes.
1 nay.
Nay. Motion carried. Now we've got the update of the city bond issue. This would get more coverage for that blanket bond. And do you have anything to say about that, Bob? You've been working with it.
Well, that'll give some extra coverage to council people. We were just operating on that, I guess you call it dishonesty clause before. And our limit is $20,000 for all employees, including mayor and council. And excess limits are included at $40,000 for the clerk treasurer. The premium is $324 a year. And I think we should definitely go with this program. And Noel Insurance is providing the coverage, and we have our other coverage with them. So I think it's probably the best we can do price-wise. When we started this, I asked Willeen how much this would vary, and everybody's within less than 10%, I was told, so. And we've had, I think, good service with them up till now.
Okay.
I've got a chance to look it over.
This is definitely better than anything that I remember, it's like, that I've been around. And Bob's right, Noel does take really, really good care of us.
Maybe as a side thought, we are going to have to do our check signing a little different and internal audit procedures. And then those are pretty much standard. I've talked to some other cities nearby, and so it's going to kind of bring us more in line with what other people are doing for accountability and safety of public funds.
Would somebody like to entertain a motion to accept this and carry through with it?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Thompson,
I'll second it.
seconded by McFerrin to accept this from Noel Insurance. We have a vote on this.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4 ayes to accept it, no nays, motion carried. Now we've got the annual financial report down here. This basically, we just wanted to let you know that it is done and has been published.
Done, published, and as soon as I get the proof of publication, it's done, completely done. And I should have that tomorrow. That's what they told me.
Should
That's what they told me.
should have.
Unless our post person is barefoot and walking on the rocks.
And number F is approve the budget, which
You lost it?
yeah. We approve the budget, which is done, and,
No.
well,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
but it is done.
Mhm.
And we need to set a date for budget hearing.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the FY 17-18 budget.
Motion was made by
I'll second
Thompson, seconded by McFerrin to approve the 17-18 budget. Bill?
Is this by resolution that you're approving and setting the hearing?
Can't hear you.
Is it by resolution that you're approving and setting the hearing? Is
It's
it-
coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, eyes on the
Aye.
approving of the budget.
Aye.
Aye. 4 ayes on approving the budget. Now we need to set a public hearing for the budget. That's what we want to do.
That's what she said.
And,
You want me to read that?
yeah, you can, if we got a resolution on it.
Okay. Be it resolved by the city council, or this is resolution 17.5.8.1. Be it resolved by the city council of the city of Blakesburg, Iowa, whereas the Blakesburg City Council approves the budget for fiscal year 17-18 and sets a public hearing date of May 28th, 2017 at 7 p.m.
What was that date again?
May 28th.
On Sunday?
Now, that's the motion.
Wait,
29th. is the date.
29th.
Supposed to be the 29th. I'm sure of that.
The 29th would be a Monday.
Okay. I can fix it.
So it's May 29th?
Monday.
Set
May
public
29th.
hearing date of May 29th, 2017 at 7 p.m. Thank you. Need a second.
I'll second it.
So you're gonna have the meeting on Memorial Day, right? I mean, that,
No.
okay, just,
Because of the timeline to
Yep,
get
we
everything
have to.
down to the
Yep,
clerk, we
that's
just
fine,
about
just
have
fine.
to.
Okay.
everybody on the same page.
Okay.
29th.
And that was at what time?
7.
Regular times, okay. Thank you.
You know what?
And that
Since
is-
that's a holiday, maybe we should change that time.
You can't.
Can't?
You absolutely cannot do it.
Why?
Because, like I say, we have to get the stuff down to the county auditor. And that came down from Ted Nelson in the morning.
All right.
It's gotta be.
Well, I guess I didn't understand why it couldn't be at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 7 o'clock at night, since it's a holiday.
Well, they assumed more people would be done with their day by then. But
Okay.
this was set up quite a while back when we
Okay.
were working on this.
All right.
We really don't have a choice, I'm
All right.
sorry.
Okay. We need a second.
I seconded it.
Okay.
Well, let's see. We had a motion
That's
and a
it.
second. Now this is a roll call vote on this.
Yeah.
The Chisholm,
Aye.
Mitchell, aye. McFerrin,
Aye.
Thompson,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carries.
Keep motion carried.
Now we gotta do the resolution. Oh, we've done the resolution, so, I've done the resolution. We're done. I'll change that and put that date you can sign.
What was the date of that? Last
May 29th. It'll be May 29th.
May 29th. Now, we've got the city clerk resignation. Our clerk resigned Monday, I think it was. And we just need to vote on whether to accept her resignation, and it was immediately. We need a vote on that. Chisholm?
Need a motion first.
Oh, yeah. Need a motion to accept the resignation.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of city clerk and resolution 17.5.8.2, remove the clerk's name from the savings account at South Ottumwa Savings Bank and replace the mayor and the interim city clerk on those said accounts.
And that would be all of the city's accounts, Bob, not just savings.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
all city accounts.
Need a second.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Chisholm, seconded by McFerrin. And we'll have a,
You might want to read that resolution first.
yeah. The resolution is 17-5-8-2. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Blakesburg, Iowa, whereas the Blakesburg City Council has approved removing the previous names of the city's account at South Ottumwa Savings Bank and placing the names of Bill Mitchell as mayor and Donna Thompson as interim city clerk on said accounts. And,
Need a vote.
we'll take a vote on that. Chisholm?
Aye.
Mitchell? Aye. McFerrin?
Aye.
Thompson?
Aye.
All ayes, motion carried. Now, interim city clerk. This is just mainly is decide whether we want to let Donna work on it till we can get somebody hired.
I'll make a motion to appoint Donna Thompson as temporary interim city clerk
City clerk.
until we can find a replacement.
I will second that.
Motion made by Ms. Barron, seconded by Chisholm. And, all ayes,
Aye.
Aye.
I'm not voting.
aye. Three ayes and one sustained. And motion carried.
Okay, we need a
Hmm?
motion to put an ad in the paper. I'll help you through it.
And,
I'll make a motion that we put an ad in the paper for city clerk.
motion was made by Ms. Barron to advertise for the clerk position,
I will second it.
seconded by Thompson. All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4 ayes, motion carried. City council resignation. Somewhere here, I've got one of them. There it is. This is to whom it may concern. I will resign my position as city councilman effective May 10th, 2017. That's Bill Mitchell. And we need a vote to accept that.
I'll make a motion that we accept your resignation effective May 10th, 2017.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Chisholm, seconded by Thompson, to accept his resignation. All ayes,
Aye.
3 ayes and 1 sustained. And wastewater management. We have been talking to Joe Kirkham, and I think we're gonna get Joe to come back on the course after the resignation. But it's just something I wanted to be let know, 'cause we've gotta get something done by the 15th, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotta talk to him about it, but I think we're working the right direction there. Is there any questions about that, or?
Well, if we can visit with him this week, we can turn our paperwork into Des Moines, and then maybe we can get an agreement and put on the agenda for the May 29th meeting. Because he will still be helping us up until 1st of June, I guess it is.
Now, we need to advertise for a licensed plumber with trenching capabilities to take care of our maintenance if we have any water leaks or anything like that.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we advertise for licensed plumber and / trenching capabilities for the city's water maintenance.
Maintenance problems.
Yeah.
Which we've got some coming up, so. And, motion was made by McFerrin,
I'll second it.
seconded by Chisholm. All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4 ayes, motion carried. Now, we have any old business? If we don't have any old business, we'll go on to new business.
Library?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. We're getting to the end of the fiscal year, so the library, I sent some information, gave you a packet of, includes our current budget where we are fiscally right now. We have taken in, if the city has given us the 4,500 allocation that it put in its budget last year, 78.6% of the fundraising is in, so we've got a little bit more yet to go. We haven't got the second half of the county funding yet, and we have 2 fundraising events coming up. We have spent so far 75% of our budget. We only have 2 months left. So it looks like we might have money left over at the end of the year. So what we're going to ask you, and not act on anything tonight, we want you to have time to think about this and maybe bring it up at the next meeting, because it has to be done in May so that we can plan for June. If the library has money left over, there are 2 options we would look at. One is for you to pass a resolution to just carry that money over into the library's account for the next fiscal year. The second option would be to set up a trust and agency account and put any leftover funds into that. It would have a specific purpose of being used for technology in the future. We did get a $7,000 grant from the Legacy Foundation this year. We bought 9 new desktop computers, 1 new laptop computer, a projection system, and a lot of technology. But technology wears out, and it's very expensive to replace. And part of our grant was we have to have a plan to sustain it, because every time we need a new computer, we can't go writing grants. They're not going to fund that thing over and over again. So if we could set up a trust and agency account, and in our budget, we do have a line item, one for computer software, $300, and one for capital equipment, $300. That could be $600 potentially right there that we could carry over. Computers are expensive. It would take a couple of years probably to build up that account, and then we would set a schedule, a regular schedule of replacing computers, maybe 2 a year or something. But we need to get that fund going. So those are the 2 options, that if the library has money left over at the end of the fiscal year, we would like you to do that. I've got a possible resolution for the trust and agency account, or the library could, or the council could simply pass a resolution to allow us to carry funds over. I did give everybody a copy of Chapter 9 of the Iowa Library Trustees Handbook. Talks about all of the library's funding, what the powers and responsibilities and rights of the library board are. Also cites section of the code. It addresses the fact that we can carry money over, or we can set up a trust and agency account. That is up to the council. We would like to have a statement, although I have the budget information here for you, for the city, to make sure that we have a statement from the city by our June meeting, and that is June 19th. I believe that's the 3rd Monday in June, so that we can see where we're at as far as funding goes, and we know more about what we might have left over. But the resolution would have to be passed prior to then so that we could carry over to the next year.
19th.
June 19th, I believe, is our meeting. So, because when we turn in our timesheets, we know what we submit, but then what we get paid is different, because there's federal withholding, there's IPERS payments that have to go in and all that kind of stuff. So we actually need to know what is being paid for salary, wages, benefits, and all that, besides just the time that we submit. So we would like to have that, see exactly where we are. And that way we can plan. So 2 more fundraising events left. The back sheet of the Chapter 9 tells exactly what the library board's directors, the city council and mayor's responsibilities, and the city's clerk responsibilities are concerning library funding. I think in the past, people thought that the council had to approve the library's expenditures, and that is not true. The library board has full authority to approve those all expenditures, and no bill can be paid until the library board does approve it. So in the past, I know sometimes our bills were held on and put into the council packet, and the council would approve them, and then we would get late fees tacked onto our bills because they were paid late. And when we have such a small budget to begin with, we don't want to spend money on late fees. We want to be able to use it for collections and programs and stuff. So that's why brings me to our next point. Most of the time in small cities, when you look at the Code of Iowa, it recommends that the city clerk pay all the library's bills. But there are libraries, and it's in the ordinance set up for their city, that the library can actually pay the bills themselves. And that is something else that we were looking at. And this would have to be, because it would be a change in our ordinance, it would have to go before a vote of the people, the citizens of the community. It would have to be on the general election ballot in November. But the council could go ahead and vote to do that if it wants to let the library have the authority to pay its own bills, other than The payroll, we would still want the city clerk to manage all that because I don't want to deal with FICA and Social Security and all that kind of stuff. Wouldn't know how to do that, that's not my role. But we would set up, since by the code, every department is supposed to have its own account, we would want the library to have access to a checking account, a debit card, or whatever, so that we can pay our bills. And we would pay them right there when we have a board meeting. All the bills, the receipts, the invoices are submitted. We would sit and write the checks and pay them right there at that time. We would do a copy. The city clerk would still have access to the bank account. They could go online or whatever you do to see exactly what spending is. The library could also have accounting. We would still go ahead and submit a packet like we've been doing, our board meeting packet with our agenda, a list of all of our bills, copies of all of our receipts and invoices and everything. So you would still have all that paperwork here. We also keep copies of that. We want to make sure that we have very good accountability, but we also want to make sure that everything's getting paid and paid on time. The other thing is that it would make less work for the clerk, and it would also save me a lot of hassle. I pay everything right now out of my own pocket, unless I work with a vendor that will allow us to be billed for services and pay within 30 days or whatever. I pay everything out of my pocket. And I just think, you know, if people start looking through the reports, even though everything is receipted and we have statements for it, why is the city clerk writing so many checks out to Cheryl Talbert? Here's one for $140 last month. It's because I paid for that all out of my pocket, and I don't feel I should have to. And you may have another library director who couldn't, who isn't financially able to. So, you know, I just think there's a better way that we could do this. And again, we would make sure that you have all the records and everything. We would do everything above board. But just the other day, I spent $18 on postage. I was sending packages out to other libraries. So, you know, it's just, again, not everybody's going to be able to do that. And I fortunately have been able to, but, you know, if I have to wait 2-3 weeks or whatever to get reimbursed, we only meet once a month. If I could just write a check or use our debit card, it would go directly out of the account. We've got the receipts from the post office. That's $18 I wouldn't have had to pay out of pocket. Same thing with buying books or supplies. We go through a lot of ink cartridges, and those aren't cheap. So, you know, I pay for that myself. So those are things we want you to think about, consider. The resolution to either carry over the funds or set up the trust and agency account would probably need to be on the May 29 agenda. The other thing doesn't have to come until later. The city council can vote on its own to go ahead and put that on the general ballot. If the city council doesn't want to, we could actually go out and get petitions and bring the petition to the council, and then you could put it on the ballot if we have enough support for that. But either way, the people get to vote, whether it's a good idea or not for the library to manage its own finances. If we do, that would be a change in the ordinance, and the city attorney, I'm sure, could help you with that. And if it would fail in the vote, it couldn't come up for a vote again for 4 years. So that's just something that they've got according to the code. And I did put the sections of the Code of Iowa that relate to the trust and agency accounts, the library board, and the funding in that packet as well. Got any questions for me? I thought the library board was going to be here, some of the members, but yes.
Is this the same process that agency?
Agency does
works
this.
Okay. And it
Agency
works well
does their
for
own
them?
bills, and it works well for them, yes.
Okay.
They pay all of their own bills, and then except the payroll. They still have the city clerk doing the payroll. That is the biggest expense.
So there's actually a model out there.
There is a model.
that you can-
In fact, our board president, Sunny Devers, had met with the director at agency, and I do have agency's policies, procedures, and we would set ours up pretty much the same way. But it would necessitate a change in the ordinance of how the library board is set up and how it functions. So that's why it would have to be on the general ballot. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. I did put rationale in there as well, so you can read through all that too. All right, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks.
Is there any other new business? If there's not,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
motion by McFerrin, second by Thompson to adjourn.
Aye. Aye.
4 ayes, motion carried.
Did the-